In a world of dice, there's a new way to see. No more counting calories, just living free. Robert Ferguson's got the plan you need. With diet-free life, it's the key. No more starving, getting rid of inflammation. Choosing healthy choices, providing you with sound information. Bringing balance to hormones and insulin through food. With DFL, teaching you food choices to see you through. DFL, we're teaching you to eat food right. Teaching you to pair food with each bite. Balancing our body's microbiome, feeling so right. With diet-free life, your health's futures lose pride.
Hello, everybody. This is Roberto Lorenzo Ferguson, aka Robert Lawrence Ferguson. And we're talking diet-free life. We're always talking diet-free life. And today is no different. So here's the deal. If you want to live to be 120, or you simply want to live your healthiest life for as long as possible, understand this. Longevity is not luck. It is biology. It is inflammation. It is balance. When you look at the longest living populations in the world, they share measurable biological patterns that protect their cells, reduce chronic inflammation, and support metabolic health. The question is not whether these factors matter. The question is, what do your numbers look like? See, because living longer is one thing, but living longer without chronic disease is the real goal. In this video, I'm going to share with you what is arguably the number one common factor in living to be 120. That's simple. That's it. And it's interesting because I meet people all the time and they're constantly talking about, I want to live to be 120. I'm going to live to be 120. Okay. Well, if you don't know and do what I'm going to share based on all the data in the world, no one's arguing with what I'm going to share with you. There is no argument. But what I know is that in the United States and Canada and Mexico, 99% of the adult population is not doing what I'm going to share with you. Now, if you're new, then I want to say welcome. If you're catching me on some social media platform like Facebook, LinkedIn, there's a link below. Click on the YouTube channel. Come on over and make sure when you're here on YouTube, you like, subscribe. It's easier for me to communicate with you and get your questions when you're on YouTube in comparison to if you just stay on Facebook. Okay. And then like our channel, watch it, share with other people. I truly appreciate that. Not asking for money, just asking for likes. All right. That being said, this is going to be fun. I'm going to share with you guys some really cool stuff. And I've been wanting to do this video for a while because, I don't know if I want to live to be 120. I don't mind living to be 120. I have some real good, examples of people who lived pretty close to 120. One specifically I'm going to share with you who became my dear friend, Mr. Bernardo. I'm going to show you a picture of he and I. I met him when he was 111 years old. He died right before he turned 115. I did a video, I spent a whole day with him when he was 113. This man was born in 1901. I have great stories, great memories. And I was looking at the data earlier today and I was like, this is so valuable. And what's interesting is that, he was on the news a few times, but it wasn't like he should have been on Good Morning America every day. Like all these centenarians, people who are over 100 years old, they did something right. But when you look at it really close, they're all doing kind of the same thing. Yeah. And I'm going to share with you the one common factor that all of them have. And this includes the blue zones. And I'm not the biggest fan of the blue zones because the blue zones left out certain parts of the world where people live longer than many people in the blue zones. Now, if I were to talk to the author of the book, The Blue Zones, I would ask him questions like, how could you leave Hong Kong out? That makes absolutely no sense. So this is going to be an educational period, and I'm going to share some surprises with you. So I want you to stick with me. And if you can't stick around in the live, or you have to jump out because you're watching the replay, then just, email it to yourself, text it to yourself, share it with yourself so that you can come back and hear the rest of it. Because we're not just talking about living to be 120. We're talking about doing what is necessary to reduce the risk of chronic illness. And most people aren't. Okay. Now I have a few videos that I'm going to share with you guys today. One I'm going to pull up right now because I want to set the stage, because inflammation is something that needs to be addressed on a regular basis. And there's a woman by the name of Dr. Artemis Simopoulos, who I look up to and I like. And I want you to hear her. It's like it's less than 30 seconds. And I want you to hear her set the stage. Okay, so let me set that up. Because she's going to talk about what the base is of all chronic disease. And then I'm going to get into it. Okay. And again, I got a couple surprises for you guys. Like a few things that is shocking that you're going to learn that you want to know about. Okay. So let me pull her video up, and then I'll get the chance to say hello to everybody. So make sure you say like. If you're catching me live, just say hello, Robert. Let me know. Then I'm going to give you a shout out after we watch Dr. Simopoulos lay the foundation to this thing called inflammation.
From clinical studies and animal experiments, that inflammation is at the base of all chronic diseases, whether it is cardiovascular disease, whether it is cancer, if it is arthritis. Obesity is an inflammatory disease. Obese people have pro-inflammatory cytokines. People with diabetes.
Amen. And she is right on when it comes to that, you guys. The base of all, not most, not many, not a whole bunch, not a dozen. ALL speaks volumes. All chronic disease. The base is inflammation. And when you look at around the globe, the people who live the longest, their lifespan, the people who have an amazing health span, meaning they live the longest without chronic disease, they all have low inflammation. And one of the easiest things you can do is to tackle that. Before you had high blood pressure, you had to have had inflammation. Before you get cancer, you had to have had inflammation. Before you have MS, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, dry eye, the list goes on and on and on. You had to have inflammation. So would it make sense that we tackle inflammation? And some of you are saying, I want to live to be 120 years old. And I've talked to some of you, and I'm watching you. Some of you, I actually gave you a balance test. Your test is absolutely not good, but you're still walking around telling people you want to live to be 120, and you're not doing anything to improve your balance test, which means you're not optimizing inflammation. Help me make that. Makes no sense. So I've come to the conclusion that some people just want to remain obstinate, meaning they are stiff-necked. That's how the Bible refers to it. They have their own truths that they want to stick to no matter what. They're stubborn, and they will just do what they're going to do. You can't help those people. In the words of Harriet Tubman, when she said, if I could have convinced more slaves that they were slaves, I could have freed thousands more. She couldn't convince them. She was sharing this thing about freedom, and they couldn't relate. They couldn't get it. So they just stayed slaves. The name of my methodology and what I'm preaching all the time is diet-free life methodology. I want people to have freedom with food. Amen. All right. I know you guys want to get to it, and I'm going on and on. All right. What's up, Donna? I'm glad you kind of caught me. She can't be here the whole time, but hey, we saw that you were here, Donna. So you get points for that. Okay. And what's up, Christy? Christy's here. Christy, you're going to love this presentation. I'm about to share some real nuggets in a really fun way. And we got somebody, TDK. I wish your name was there. Tell me your name. Indiana. You know, I'm a Hoosier. Come on. Come on. Come on. I mean, come on, Indiana. I mean, you know, hey, I love my that's where I'm from. That's my home state. My family, my mama's still there. My niece is still there. My cousins are there. My uncles, aunts. I love Indiana. I mean, come on. I'm biased. Then we got Wendy. What's up, Wendy? She says, thanks for doing these shows. I'm getting better at it. And we got the one and only Miss Sandy in the house. Look at Sandy rocking and rolling. Sandy had a good week this week. Congrats, Sandy. I've been bragging on you all week. All right. Okay, you guys. This is going to be interesting. Now, I'm going to play a video. Okay, so let me set this up. Okay, I'm going to play a video. It's an AI video of a woman who is talking. Now, it could be real. Everything in me says it's not, but she's 100% on point. And because of my experience with Jack LaLanne, because of my experience with the late, great Dick Gregory, because of my experience with Bernardo, who lived to be 114, and I literally spent a lot of time with him, documented his entire, like what he did, spent quality time with him. I know, 101 or 1901 is when he was born. I know exactly what he ate, how long he ate it, what he did on a daily basis. And this lady in this video that I'm going to play speaks to that. And then I'm going to share with you guys that number one thing. Okay. But just stay with me on this because this is some good stuff. So let's watch this video. And don't think about if it's AI or not. Just listen in.
108 years. The good Lord has blessed me with 108 years on this earth. I've seen 2 world wars, a man walk on the moon, and phones that talk to you. And in all that time, I've seen a whole lot of foolishness, especially when it comes to what people put in their bodies. My name is Hattie Mae, and every doctor who ever told me to watch my cholesterol is dead and gone.
Okay. Okay. I'm laughing, you guys, because when I would be with Jack LaLanne, many times he would say this, you know, because he was big into getting people to lift weights and you know, back in the days of Marilyn Monroe, that was not ladylike. Like, that's not what you did. And he said doctors would say that he was crazy and that he's going to hurt people and the women should not be lifting weights. I mean, they really believe this. And Jack would say, you know what, Robert? I go, what, Jack? He goes, they're all dead. Yeah. So a lot of these people who tell us things and push things on us, yeah, they're not here. It didn't work out for them. So that's why I wanted to pause it. Plus, because of you two, I got to pause it. But I do give credit to the people who provided this video. So you can click on the link below. I always give credit to where I get videos from. Okay, so let's keep it going.
Every single one. They come in with their fancy degrees and their new pills, and they tell you to eat this and not to eat that. And half of it is just nonsense, paid for by some company trying to sell you something in a box. I'm here to tell you the truth, the real truth, the kind of truth that gets passed down from your great-grandmama, not from some commercial on the television. It ain't about magic powders or expensive diets. It's about the food that comes from the earth, the food God gave us.
Okay, let me pause just to interact. When I say eat close to nature, that's what I'm saying. Regular, real food. Now, the new administration came out and said, eat real food. Great. Now we got to just make sure they're not spraying the food with stuff. But real food, I'm all in. And she's right. Okay.
And I've got 7 of them that I've been eating my whole life. 7 foods that are the reason I'm still sitting here talking to you today. Now, the first one, this is the one they love to argue about. Coffee. Yes, Lord. A good strong cup of black coffee. I've had one every single morning since I was about 16 years old. They tell you it's going to give you a heart attack, make you nervous. Child, please. What's going to give you a heart attack is worrying about every little thing. That coffee, it wakes up your brain. It's full of what they call them, antioxidants. It's a message to your body that it's time to get up and get to work. The good Lord wouldn't have made it smell so good if he didn't want you to drink it. Just drink it black. Don't go putting all that sugar and that chemical creamer in it. That's the devil's work. Second.
Okay. I like that. Okay, real short. Coffee, you guys, and I have talked about this again and again and again. I've done posts, I've written articles on coffee, caffeinated and decaf. The antioxidant and polyphenol value of coffee is amazing. Now we know that it helps with gut health. Coffee is something that everybody, like I recommend coffee to my clients who don't drink coffee because of the health benefits. And if they don't want the caffeine, which is fine, get decaf. You'll still get the gut health benefits in a huge way. Coffee is a winner. Teas are a winner. But I'm telling you, there's nothing wrong with coffee. Now, if you just don't want to drink coffee, then don't drink it. But for people who drink coffee, as long as when you add whatever you add to it, it's sparingly, you're good. Enjoy your cup of coffee. It helps performance. It helps mindset. It helps your gut. It's packed with antioxidants. That means preventative health. It's helping everything. Coffee is something that everybody would benefit from if they drank it. Everybody. Okay, here we go to number 2.
It's God's candy. Berries. Any kind you can get your hands on. Blueberries, blackberries, raspberries. When I was a girl, We pick 'em wild from the bushes behind the house. Now I get 'em from the store, but I eat a handful every single day. They're sweet, but they don't have that fast, nervous sugar that rots you from the inside. They're full of polyphenols. That's a fancy word for the color. And just like my daddy said, God rest his soul, the medicine is in the color. It's what protects the fruit, and it's what'll protect you. Keeps the inflammation down. Number 3, this one comes from the water. Fatty fish. I'm talking about salmon, sardines, mackerel, the oily kind. We didn't get a lot of salmon when I was coming up in Georgia, but we got sardines. Ate them right out of the can. My husband, he used to call it a poor man's lunch. I call it a rich man's medicine.
Okay. Now I'm going to let her finish this, but I wanted to interject. The berries, let me show you something. Here's you can see me on the right where it says Bernardo, age 113. That's me doing production. I'm interviewing. I'm at Bernardo's house. Bernardo was 113 here. He died at 114, right before he turned 115. To the left of that, you can see we're like a little club or something. They did an event for him, and I was a keynote speaker is how I met him in Arizona. He was 111. And I got to spend a lot of time with him, and that's when I also met Dick Gregory and spent like a whole day with him, and then became friends with Dick Gregory and talked to him quite a bit over the following years. But Bernardo, as you can see in those pictures, that man is either 111, 112, 113 in all those photos. And everything this woman has just mentioned and is going to mention is what he did his entire life. And that's what you're going to discover today, or in this video. I'm going to walk you through the blue zones, other countries where people are living the longest, who are the healthiest. Like, what's the one thing that they all did? And in this video right now, she's talking about one of those things, right? She went from berries. My recommendation, you guys, if you can make berries part of your, let's say out of 7 days a week, have berries as part of a snack, part of your breakfast, part of your meal. Just make it part of your day-to-day. If you did 3 to 4 days a week, great. If you could do it daily, as Bernardo did, Bernardo would not go one day without berries. He wouldn't go one day without berries. And he lived to be 114, almost 115, and looked great. So there's something in these berries. There's something in the coffee so far. There's something also in the sardines. Polyphenols is the word you want to hang on to, and omega-3s. That's what you want to remember. Polyphenols and omega-3s. You are not going to live like these people you meet that say, "Could I know some?" There's a woman that's coming to mind right now. She's always talking about, "I'm gonna be 120 years." She ain't gonna be no 120 because she gets in her own way. And there's a lot of people like that. You can't help those people. I even did her balance test. It was not good. And she's doing nothing to improve it. So there's a lot of people who get really comfortable at lying to themselves. You don't want to be that person, okay? We don't want to be that person. So let's get back to the video.
It's made of fat, and it needs good, clean fat to keep working right. That EPA, that DHA, that's the oil that keeps the engine from rusting. It keeps your thoughts clear. It keeps the sadness from creeping in. They tell you to worry about mercury. I tell you to worry about a brain that can't remember your own children's names.
Ooh.
I'll take my chances with the fish. All right, number 4.
Well, as we get ready to go to number 4, there's thousands of studies. Okay, I'm not exaggerating, you guys. Thousands of studies when it comes to brain health, mental health, and the relationship to omega-3s. When she talks about sardines, if you're not getting it through fish, you got to get it through something else. Now, after she covers this point, I'm going to share something that proves for thousands of years, people were getting enough of omega-3s, whether it was fish or through something that the United States now calls a weed, something that they kill on a regular basis, and we don't even get to eat it. Okay, we'll go there after this number 4. Remember, she's got 7 things, and so far, so good.
This is another one they lied to you about. Eggs. The whole egg, the yolk and all. For 50 years, they told us the yolk was going to clog our hearts. Scared a whole generation away from the most perfect food God ever made. It's a lie. The yolk is where the power is. It's got that choline for your brain, that lutein for your eyes. It's a perfect little package of life. I eat 2 every morning, fried in bacon grease, and my heart is still ticking just fine. Thank you very much. And that brings me to number 5.
All right, let's pause on that. You know, it's funny because Christy made a comment that she knows people in her family that talk like that. I have people in my family in different parts of this country. Most of them are in Kentucky, and they talk just like this also. So I'm not making fun of how she talks. I've heard that. I'm just thinking that she's not a real person. She could be, but I looked it up, and I always like to. I just wanted to say it. If she's real, great. Regardless, whoever put it together, she hits, because I have those relationships with people who have lived to be older than her. She's saying exactly what they did. Now, Bernardo didn't eat eggs. Not his whole life. He was primarily a vegetarian. He ate fish, but didn't eat a lot of eggs. But if you made him eggs, he would eat the eggs. If you made him steak, he would eat the steak. But in his home, he was primarily fish, and I'll summarize at the end exactly what he ate. And he's somebody who lived to be 114. Okay. So I want to show you something. So this is something that when I grew up as a kid, I would see it everywhere. Okay. It's called purslane. And purslane has different names. And as you can see this, I would walk down the street. Let me go back a little bit here. And I would see this growing in the cracks of the sidewalks. And you've seen it. You go on an old basketball court or playground, it's growing everywhere. Now in the United States, it's called purslane. But whether it's like, I have clients from India, Mexico, Greece, Italy, they have different names for this. And this is extremely rich in omega-3s. Now, what you can see on the screen right here, I want to read this for you. It says, purslane deserves special attention from agriculturalists as well as nutritionists. It's considered a weed in the States, and our farmers, and they kill it. But it's extremely healthy when it comes to omega-3s. Very rich in it as well as other things, and I'm going to show you that. Okay? And we don't even eat it anymore. So as you can read here, it says purslane has better nutritional quality than the major cultivated vegetables, with higher beta carotene, ascorbic acid, and alpha linoleic acid, which is our omega-3, ascorbic acid, vitamin C. And it's considered a weed. And people around the world who live the longest with the best health, they eat this, they put it in their salads, they put it in their stir fries, they put it in their soups. And in the United States, we don't eat it. It's like demonic. Think about that. Something with this nutritional value is considered demonic. So read right there. It says porcelain has been described as a power food because of its high nutritive and antioxidant properties. What I've looked at over the years is I go, okay, not everyone had access to salmon and fatty fish. So where did they get their omega-3s? Well, one, they weren't consuming omega-6s like we do today. And I'm going to show you that in my summary. And then number two, people all over the world were eating porcelain. So they're getting a lot of what they call ALA, omega-3s, in a plant-based form with all of these other very healthful nutrients. And we walk over it on the sidewalk like it's nothing. So my omega-3 family, let me get you to hear my words. You want to know what porcelain is, because that's one of the connections to the power of omega-3 in making it possible for people to live 120 years. This is just one example. Now take a look at what you see on the screen right now. Right? So the percentage is based on the recommended daily value. Eating one meal with a good amount, you make a salad with porcelain, you're then getting 35% of your vitamin C, 17% of magnesium that people are looking to get, 14% potassium, 11% iron. That could be in one meal. 3.5 ounces is not much. And this is stuff that you step on and walk over on the sidewalk. Go look it up. This is the reality. It's almost like it feels like a conspiracy. But the reality is there's nutritious value in this. Low in calories and very easy to add to a salad. And you can't even get it in a grocery store in the United States. I mean, you can find it, but that's what it looks like. You guys, I mean, how many of you have seen this? Tell me that you've seen this. You've seen it on in your yard. People who have their own gardens will pull this out and this is weeds. This is not good. And they kill it. You're killing something that adds value to your health. I find this to be extremely amazing. Every day. All right, let's get back to her video. We're going to let her finish up, and then I'm going to close it up and give you guys some take-homes.
This one's going to make all them young folks clutch their pearls. Red meat. Yes, Lord. Good, grass-fed red meat. The kind that comes from a cow that actually walked around in the sun. They tell you it's going to kill you. Your body needs what's in that meat. It needs that iron, that B12, that carnitine. Those are the things that give your muscles strength, that keep your blood strong. You feel weak? You feel tired? It ain't because you're old. It's because you're eating chicken breast and tofu. You need the power that comes from the earth. and a cow is just a machine for turning grass and sunshine into strength. It's that simple. Number 6. This one's a little different. Fermented foods. Now, we didn't call it that. We called it sauerkraut. We called it pickles. We called it buttermilk. It's food that's alive.
Hey, you know what? My grandma, who got cancer in her early 80s, she looked amazing, man. She died, I believe, about 84, 85. And she looked, I mean, she went from when she got cancer, I mean, and that can happen to anybody. But before that, she was amazing. She looked great. She moved great. Everything was great. And she had buttermilk in the refrigerator. I was like, oh, like all the old people, they drank buttermilk. Well, fast forward, that's fermented. And we talk about gut health all the time. And fermented food, whether it's sauerkraut, kimchi, apple cider vinegar with the mother, these are the things around the world that people are doing on a regular as part of their lifestyle that are living to those ages. So fermented food, we know it 100% is good for the gut, is good for everything. Somehow figure out a way to make it part of your daily. You don't need to eat much of it. You just need a little bit of it. And your health will thank you for that.
It's full of good bacteria. Your gut is like a garden, and you gotta have good soil. If you just got weeds in there, you're gonna be sick. These fermented foods, they put the good stuff back in. They keep your digestion right. A happy gut is a happy life. You remember that? And the last one, number 7. This is my little secret, my treat. Raw cacao. Not chocolate, not that sugary junk you buy at the checkout counter. I'm talking about the real, bitter, dark powder. The stuff that tastes like dirt and magic. I have 1 spoonful every morning in my coffee. It's got something in it called, what is it? PQQ. That's a mouthful. But what it does is it tells your body to make new mitochondria, new spark plugs. At my age, it wakes up your brain. It gives you a little fire. It's the best kept secret there is. So there you have it. Coffee, berries, fatty fish, eggs, red meat, fermented foods, and cacao.
You know what? You can't really argue what she's just talked about. You can't. Cacao. Cacao is very rich also in antioxidants and polyphenols. Casanova was the man. You know, you hear Casanova and you think lover boy, blah, 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 but Casanova was real. And he would have people drink extremely dark, rich chocolate. They would melt it and it optimized their mood. It had like this mental health benefit to it, like caffeine, theobromine, and the benefits were there. So people stop eating chocolate. I'm like, nah, don't stop eating chocolate. Just go for a darker or higher like percentage of cacao and have it as a snack. You want a piece of chocolate? Or do what she's doing and add it to your coffee. It makes it yum, yum. And when it's heated, it doesn't mess up anything. Okay. So let me get to the point of what I want to share with you guys today. Let me see. Let me answer a couple questions that pop up. So Wendy says, where's the chicken? I'm not sure what you mean by that, Wendy. Chicken, steak, fish, beef, bison, all of those things are on the table. Remember, an egg is like the perfect meal. It's like a great protein. It has the right amount of fat in it. It comes with a bunch of nutrients that's very beneficial. Fat that comes with the protein actually helps with what they call protein synthesis. So protein gets absorbed better because of the fat. An egg is amazing. Okay, so let me get to my one main thing that I want to share with you guys today. Okay, so what truly stands out when you look at all the different populations, the people who live the longest, whether it's Okinawa, Sardinia, Hong Kong, South Korea, that's where we're going. People who consume a high amount of omega-6 seed oils, which we talk a lot about. Canola oil, safflower oil, soybean oil, sunflower oil. These oils that we call seed oils are not being consumed by the people who live to be over 100. In my time with Bernardo, he didn't eat seed oils. That was not part of the deal. His go-to was extra virgin olive oil. Interesting. Okay. So I would say if you really want to live to be 120, you got to go out of your way and make sure that you're not consuming a lot. Definitely minimize how many seed oils that you're consuming. Common factor number 2, you want to have a really good omega-6 to omega-3 ratio, because the people in these countries that live the longest and don't have chronic disease earlier, they have a better omega-6 to omega-3 ratio. Now, the good news is that we know how to test it. And if you don't know how to test it, you can email me or you can reach out to the person who shared this video with you. But this is going to be important. You need to know where you are with omega-6 to omega-3. Once you see that you're probably out of balance, then you can do something about it and get into balance. And then you'll be like the people in these countries that are living the longest, both lifespan and health span. Okay. Number 3, higher polyphenol intake. Now, this one is very important. Everything that lady talked about all was connected to polyphenols. All of it. 1000%. Wild greens, extra virgin olive oil, herbs, teas, coffee, seasonal plants, purslane. I wish I could find a place that had purslane that I could buy it, because I'll mix it into my greens. I'll mix it into my stir fries. Or I guess I could just go outside and walk and find it and pick it up in between the cracks on the, on the sidewalk. I heard that there's some Hispanic stores that have it, because that's a big part of their culture if you go to Mexico. But find out the name. You can go AI it, Google it, purslane. Make that part of your leafy green go. Unfortunately, people are killing it, and it could actually be helping those people. Common factor number 4, lower systemic inflammation. The only way you're going to be able to do this is you got to get tested. So we have a test that I recommend everybody get. It's called the balance test. Now, the balance test makes total sense, and the people who have gotten it, got it. And then once you see what your omega-6 to omega-3 ratios are, and there's other numbers that you also learn about, 11 different fatty acids, it's very affordable. And then So the people who live in excess of 100 years with quality life, they don't have a concern with this because it's part of the way they eat. But if you live in the United States and most industrial countries, it ain't that easy because you're not living close to nature. This is a fact. Why get to the point where you got a disease and now you got to deal with that, and you never fix the things that could be fixed? That just is mind blowing to me. So living to be 120 is not luck. It's biology. And as Dr. Simopoulos mentioned earlier, it's addressing inflammation and it's being in balance. The best part about all of this is that it's measurable. You can literally measure it. Okay. When you get tested, this is a snapshot of what it looks like. I did a post on this. My cousin was 28-1. So that means he's out of balance. So he's like, all right. So we did his test. And later today, I'm actually going over his tests with him. And my barber did his test. We're going over his. He's 37-1. Now, let me show you. This is one of my clients. When she did her first test, to the left, you can see she's 69-1. If that's you, anything that's in the red is not good. The good news is that you know. And once we put her on a protocol, she started taking the balance oil every day. And now she's 2-1. That says it all, you guys. There's nothing else to say. Any questions for me? Because the common factor is being in balance with omega-6 to omega-3. So in all the blue zones and in all the countries that aren't blue zones, but they live the longest and are less likely to have chronic disease, their omega-6 to omega-3 balance was in a great place. Okay, so I got a question. So the question that I got is, are you familiar with C15 saturated fat? Yes, I am. I'm extremely familiar with it. I actually interviewed the founders of a product called Fatty 15. And C15, the argument continues if it's essential. But if you say it is, and a little bit of butter that I put in my coffee, I get all the C15 I need. It is extremely difficult not to naturally get enough C15. So what they have done is they've taken some science and a little bit of facts and created a product and putting it out there. And where they're being irresponsible is that C15 does not help your omega-3s or your omega-6 to 3 ratio. They have nothing. There's apples and oranges. I recently had a woman who I gave her and her husband a free balance test. She was advocating Fatty 15, C15 on Facebook. And so I reached out to her and said, hey, she goes, well, I'm taking C15, I'm taking Fatty. And she went into that little attitude thing, right? She's caught up in her feelings because she wants to believe she's doing the right thing. And her test came back horrible. And so she's spending all that money on Fatty 15, thinking is helping her what's very important, and is doing nothing. Nothing. Waste of money. And this is what I mean by just complete ignorance, you guys. And this is what I like about AI. You can take what I share and you can go fact check me all day, every day, multiple times. And what you're going to come back and go, okay, yeah, so Fatty 15 does not help omega. No, it does not. It does not improve omega-6 to 3 ratio. It does not improve your omega-3 index. It does not touch on that at all. It's completely different. But their marketing is great, and they're spending money, and they got people. I even saw Candace Owens was out there. I'm like, Lord, help these. As smart as she is, again, it's like Oprah Winfrey. When it comes to nutrition, these people are extremely uninformed. And because they're influencers, they influence other people who are extremely uninformed. It is the blind leading the blind. Lord, help us. Okay, let me see, Christy. Christy says, is having high content of omega-3s the key to living longer life? Is this this is a big part of the message? Yes. So all the people who live over 100, from Okinawa to South Korea to Hong Kong to Greece, they all have adequate amounts of omega-3s. All of them. All of them. And arguably, they're in balance. We haven't tested them all, but it's presumed they're in balance because they don't eat many omega-6s. They get what is essential through regular food. So they're away from the poison that we're exposed to in the United States. So their ALA, alpha-linolenic acid, has better or higher conversion rates to DHA and EPA in a big way. Some of them eating fish, a lot of them are eating things like purslane. You see what I mean? Like, that's where it comes in. When you're inland, you're not eating as much fish. But what are they eating? And then you go and look, like purslane is part of like almost every meal. So they're getting an abundance of ALA, Christy. They're not getting linoleic acid, omega-6. Boom. And they're probably getting additional omega-3s from other foods that they're eating that are close to nature. That's the game changer. So my Indiana person says, I'll send you an email about C15. Yes, fatty 15. I was thinking that in conjunction with balanced oil. Thank you for helping me understand. Shanti is promoting. Yep. Well, they're all promoting it. I mean, they're going to influencers. Smart move, smart marketing. If I tested Shanti's omega-6 to omega-3 ratio, I guarantee you he's out of balance. I put everything on it. And I've done work with Beachbody. I know what they're all about. I get it. And Shanti's a nice guy. I've met him. Very nice guy. I met his husband. But he doesn't know. He's not a nutritionist. So it sounds like it makes sense. And so then he promoted it. Same as Candace. Same as other people. These people are moved by what pays them. The truth is not where it used to be. Like the truth used to be like a thing of value. That's where Dick Gregory comes in. That's where Jack LaLanne comes in. They were moved by the truth. That's where I come in. I'm moved by the truth. I believe in balanced oil because at this moment in time, it's the only product that I have seen get people into balance through a third-party testing. So it's not my opinion, but feel free to email me whatever you want. My email is, I listed, is robert@dietfreelife.com. Send away. And if you want, if you go to my YouTube channel, you do a search with the owners or Fatty 15, you'll see I did a great interview with them. They were good. I enjoyed talking to the husband and wife team. I enjoyed it. And they were introduced to me through one of my very good friends who's a producer who was helping them with marketing. I said, hey, I'll interview them. I interviewed them. I had some of my clients end up buying Fatty 15. And they took the Fatty 15. And when I did their balance test, they all failed miserably. But it's not, that's not a negative on Fatty 15. Because it's apples and oranges. And so the only disappointment I have with the people at Fatty 15 is that they've gotten more traction by making it sound like it's a replacement for omega-3s. And that is a lie. That is a blatant, irresponsible lie. And those of you who are uninformed don't know any better. You're just believing these people. But again, go AI it. Go look it up. ChatGPT, Gemini. Hey, is C15 the same as omega-3? No. What do I need to eat to get enough C15? A touch of butter, half cup of milk, a little bit of cheese. It's so easy. It's mind-blowing. But they took a little bit of truth, and then the fact that they push it or are positioning it to be a replacement for omega-3, that's where I feel they're being extremely irresponsible. And it may not be them, because they're both intelligent people. It could be the marketing team who aren't informed. And all they're thinking about is, how do we increase the numbers? How do we make more money? How do we get more sales? And people out there don't know any better. They don't know. The average person doesn't know. Has no clue. It's unbelievable to me. So, the Bible tells me and has taught me that my people perish for the lack of knowledge. Okay. I see that because we're not informed. Einstein once said that his biggest concern was the day that technology surpasses humanity. And that's happening right now. The information stage that we're in, right? We went from the Industrial Revolution to where we are now, right? Before that, it was all about agriculture. Industrial Revolution, information age right now, and it's moving fast. And people aren't keeping up with it. Older people, they're never going to get it. God bless them. I'm glad most of them have pensions, even if it's fixed income, because the next 5 years is going to be crazy, like cray. And when it comes to our health, it's already been set up. You're going to see people, they're already dropping like flies. It's mind blowing. And sorry, you don't be upset that you brought up Fatty 15. I think it's great that you brought it up, because I actually have love for the husband and wife. I met them. I'm telling you, they were great people. I'm just not in agreement with misinformation. If somebody wants to take Fatty 15, I say, God bless you. Take it. I don't think it's going to hurt you, but it's not a replacement for omega-3s. And when it comes to optimizing health, in the words of Dr. Andrew Wild, you cannot be in optimal health if you do not have an adequate amount of omega-3s. You cannot even maximize fatty 15 or C15 if the cell membrane doesn't have enough omega-3s. So if they promoted omega-3s and said, hey, you want to optimize health if you're taking an omega, but they're not going to do that. Why would they do that? They want all the focus on their product, and they got investors, and they want to see a return on their money. People don't care about the end user necessarily. Their first care and responsibility is getting paid. That's their first care. Otherwise, they wouldn't confuse people when it comes to fatty 15 and omega-3s. So interesting. All right, you guys. Hey, I hope you learned a lot. Purslane, find it in your grocery store. Check it out. Find it, because it's and look into it. Go to YouTube. Look up Purslane, because some things look like Purslane, but it's not, and it's actually poisonous. So you do want to know the difference if you're going to go out there and try to get some Purslane, pick it up, put it in a bucket, and think you're going to go home and like clean it and eat it, right? So make sure that you're getting the right thing. And depending on if you're Hispanic, if you're in India, if you're in Europe, if you're like wherever you are, there's different names. Like in Egypt, Cairo, there's different names for Purslane, but it's everywhere. And they use it basically the same way it's in soups, and they use it in the stir fries, and they use it in the salads. It's yummy. It's taste. The texture is great. Everything is great. That's another great way to get a whole bunch of very helpful nutrients from something that would be extremely affordable. Okay. All right, you guys, I'm done. I will see you tomorrow. Thank you. I appreciate you. Please like, subscribe, share this with some people. It does help me. I am on a mission, man. I got to In the next 30 days, I got to get to a certain goal. So we get into the algorithm, because I came on YouTube so early, did nothing with it. And now I'm trying to like get it going. And I just got to get more views, more people watching, and keep sharing information that people feel like they're winning with, right? You're benefiting from. And that is the goal. So I'm gonna step it up. And I hope this was a good session for everybody. And my fellow Hoosier, thank you for being here. I truly appreciate my Hoosiers coming through. I got to get me a nice hoodie or something that says IU, because I did go there for a moment. But, you know, got to give back love to one of the most amazing states in the Union. That's Indiana, people. All right. I got to go. Peace out.
In a world of dice, there's a new way to see. No more counting calories, just living free. Robert Ferguson's got the plan you need. With diet-free life, it's the key. No more starving, getting rid of inflammation. Choosing healthy choices, providing you with sound information. Bringing balance to hormones and insulin through food. With the FL, teaching you food choices to see you through. The FL, we're teaching you to eat food right. Teaching you to pair food with each bite. Balancing our body's microbiome, feeling so right. With diet-free life, your health features lose